Hey guys, 2 days down here at the Legends Championship presented by Mayhem Athlete. That means we're past halfway, and I've got good news for you. This will be your last daily recap because starting today, Saturday, you got live action coming your way. Make sure you tune in right here on the YouTube channel. Set yourself a reminder so you don't miss the action. And of course, on Sunday, you'll see all of the championship heats as well. But like I said, we've got work to do. A lot of action went down on this floor on day number 2. We're gonna catch you up right now. We're gonna start with the women's 65 plus category.
Julie Holt continues her run at the top, and I'm starting to sense a trend here. 2 first place finishes on day 1, now 2 second place finishes on day 2 to extend her lead to 40 points. Betty Harden solidified herself in 2nd overall, breaking the day 1 tie with Mary Schwing after a pair of 3rd place finishes today. Schwing falls to 5th, tied in points with 4th place Liz Cole, while Consuelo Gomez is just 2 points back of Harden in 3rd, thanks to a win in Saved by the Bell to close out the day. 2nd through 5th are separated by just 12 points as the podium race heats up heading into Saturday. Well, it's deja vu for the 65-plus men on Friday as Jim Cooper and Cal Charrington are once again tied in 1st place overall, trading 1st and 2nd place finishes to stay square at 388 points. If the competition ended today, they would stay tied for the top spot due to the fact that each has 2 2nd place finishes and 2 event wins. There's plenty of competition left for one of them to break the tie. Steve Swanson rounds out the top 3 as only 3 athletes remain in the competition. Switching over to the 60 to 64 division and the men's competition. Carl Bax won the day 2 battle, but Brian Wilson is still winning the war as your overall leader. Bax notched event finishes of 2nd and 1st to catapult himself into 2nd place overall, 16 points shy of Wilson in 1st. Over in the women's competition, Patty McGill continues to dominate. The 3-time Games podium finisher added her 3rd event win of the week to start the day and has yet to finish an event lower than 3rd. Debbie Corwin still sits in 2nd overall, but Cheryl Boyd made up a ton of ground, 24 points to be exact, on Corwin by beating her in both events, taking 4th and 3rd respectively and narrowing the gap to just 18 points. Moving down the leaderboard to the men's 50 to 59 division, we had a ton of moving and shaking in the podium positions, with 2 new athletes entering the mix after day 1. John Donjoyan is still your overall leader and has a commanding lead over the rest of the field. Guy Cravata had the best day 2 of any athlete in the division, taking 2nd by just 3 seconds on Unforgiven before closing the day by winning Saved by the Bell to move up into 2nd place overall, 8 points ahead of both Jeff Ernsberger and Lemerson Caporali. On the women's side of the house, Shanna Bunce reaped the benefits of consistency in the midst of the chaos around her. The reigning CrossFit champion is the only woman in her division without a finish 10th or lower. She opened day 2 with a 6th in Unforgiven and improved to 4th in Saved by the Bell to enter the weekend with a nice 36-point cushion in 1st overall. Behind Bunce on the leaderboard, it may look similar to day 1, with Christy Lunny and Finland's Ulrika Curtin still holding on to podium spots. But just like the side mirrors on your pickup truck, objects in the rear view are closer than they appear. 2 points separate Lunny in 2nd from Alexia Feynman in 4th, and 30 points total separate 2nd from 9th overall, so it's anybody's podium with half the competition still remaining. Moving into the 50 to 54 division and the men's competition, the race for the top spot is still between Rowan Lowe and Nicholas Harbless, but Lowe has expanded his lead just slightly to 12 points heading into Saturday. Lowe finished both events on day 2 in 2nd and picked up 10 points on Harbless in Unforgiven before they tied for 2nd in Saved by the Bell. Corey Daig jumped up into the 3rd spot overall on the heels of a 1st place in Unforgiven, supplanting his namesake from the north, Canadian Corey Borreline, who closed day 1 in 3rd, and Daig has built himself a solid 36-point cushion over Tim Anderson for the final podium spot. In the women's division, Tia Gebbe looks unstoppable after winning both of the events today to make it 3 consecutive wins carrying over from day 1. The reigning silver medalist at this year's CrossFit Games has had the most dominant performance of any athlete in any age division, taking home 394 out of a possible 400 points available after 2 days. Rappaport, for her part, made up a ton of ground on the leaderboard, climbing up 4 spots thanks to a pair of top 5 finishes today. She got off to a good start in Unforgiven, finishing 2nd behind Gebbe, before sprinting to a 5th place finish in Saved by the Bell after a close battle with Heather Clem Pfizer. Workout 3, Unforgiven, was the story of the day in the women's 45 to 49 division, where only 3 women finished the workout under the time cap. Angie Penny was not one of them, but she still buffered her overall lead with an even showing on the day. Kim Van Zanten leapfrogged over Velvet Minnick in the overall standings to round out your top 3. Two-time defending Legends champion Jason Grubb made a push to the top on day 2 by snagging 100 points on the first event and moving into a tie for first. In the second event, Saved by the Bell, 11 competitors were separated by just 14 points. Jason Lukonen is now tied with Grubb for the top spot after taking a 3rd and a 4th on the day. Julia Kenyon's even performance has locked her into the top spot. She has yet to finish any event worse than 4th place. Meanwhile, the leader entering day 2, Amy Edelman, ran into trouble in the first event of the day, Unforgiven. She now trails Kenyon by 10 points at the halfway point in the competition. Chris Rail Jr. entered the day 4 points back from first place, but he leaves as the overall points leader. Consistency has been key, and Rail is the only athlete in the division with no finishes outside the top 10. Roy Viger has patiently clawed his way up the leaderboard after a 16th place finish to start the event. Roy Viger has patiently clawed his way up the leaderboard after he started the competition with a 16th place finish. He capped off day 2 with an event win and Saved by the Bell and rounds halfway within spitting distance of first. Amy Morton was perfect on day 2, bringing her event win streak to 3 in a row. She jumped over Allison Stahl and April Payne to take the overall top spot. Payne had a difficult day, dropping from 2nd to 4th, and Jamie Latimer capitalized on the opportunity to break into the top 3. All of the top 3 women are beginning to separate from the pack. Ryan Smith made huge moves on day 2 with an event win and no finishes outside of 5th. David Siverston remained consistent, but he lost the top spot. He now trails Smith by 4 points.
All right, friends, thanks for tuning in. That's the action from day 2, which means you're all caught up and ready to watch the live stream action right here on Mayhem's YouTube channel. Set a reminder so you don't forget and you don't miss 1 minute of the live action. I want to take a minute to thank our friends at Reebok and all of our sponsors, really, who are making this coverage possible. And of course, thank you guys for following us here at Mayhem.